Welcome to Opinion Havers, a movie podcast for what's his name? Giancarlo Esposito. Is that his name? A movie podcast for Giancarlo Esposito's chest. I'm Cody.
And I'm Tyler.
Tyler, what movie did we watch?
We watched Last Holiday.
Let me ask you a follow-up question to that. Did you watch the Queen Latifah one or the one from 1950?
Which one did you watch?
Well, that's why I'm asking you. Which one did you watch?
Giancarlo Esposito's in both, right? So it's hard to say.
He is Hollywood's residential Brazilian vampire.
Yeah. So obviously I watched the 50s one. Which one did you watch?
Well, I watched the 2006 one. So
all right. Well,
it should be good.
Yeah.
We should be ready to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, Tyler, do you want to give the good people a little rundown of what Last Holiday is all about?
Oh, Cody, I would love to. Okay, Cody, let me tell you, you come in on this lady. It's classic, right? She's from Narlands, right? And she's down there. She's a retail associate, She's out here doing her stuff. She's eating her lean cuisine. And Emerald Lagasse is the biggest thing in the world. We all remember it, right? And whoopsies. Oh boy, third set sketchy doctor using a sketchy machine sells her. You're out of here. You got 10 hours. You kick the bucket, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then she goes on a rampage of fun and adventure. All right. And
a holiday rampage.
A holiday rampage with Giancarlo Esposito, who's there at the same time that she is. And she just shows the world his chest. I dare you to poke a single hole in that rundown.
Obviously, I can't. And, can you believe this movie came out like right around when Breaking Bad was starting? And how upset are you that like Breaking Bad never gave us Giancarlo's chest? That's the real crime here.
Here's the thing, Cody. I watched the beginning of Breaking Bad and then I watched the last episode. So I know all of Breaking Bad. All right.
Sounds like my strategy with Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And I tell you, I feel the same way that you probably felt about Game of Thrones. I got it. Everybody's like, oh, I understand. They're like, oh man, how did you understand anything? Let me tell you something. If you can't watch that last episode and get the gist of what's happening, that's on you. All right. It's not like the show. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say the show's bad, but it's not like you don't have to be a savant to understand what it's saying here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are we talking Breaking Bad or are we talking Game of Thrones?
I'll say both. Game of Thrones less so than, Game of Thrones, I stopped. Okay, Cody, let's get into it. Game of Thrones.
Oh man.
They just started a new show, right? They started House of Dragon. So I started watching it. I'm like, all right, let's see what Platinum Blonde Doctor Who has for me. Okay. So I get into it and I'm like, oh my gosh, they did it. They went in and they're like, hey, we understand that all this stuff, you hated all this other stuff about the show. We're going to give you the same world, but with, just better everything. Right? Because here's my thing. I got a hot take for you. I don't think George R. Martin is a good writer.
Oh, no.
I don't think he is.
Oh, no. Okay? Here it comes.
I think he's like, it's all about the realism and nobody's safe. But all it does is make...
What are the Game of Thrones fans called? Thronies? The Thronies are coming for us.
Here's the thing. They're saying, oh, anybody can die. Nobody's safe. But then having characters that should die be put into way more dangerous situations and they don't die, it doesn't mean that you're realistic. It means the plot armor on those few characters is way more pronounced than anything else. Like a Care Bear movie has less plot armor on their characters than there is on Jon Snow. All right. Jon Snow is the thickest plot armor character I've ever seen in my life. All right. And everybody's like, when are you going to finish these books, George R. R. Martin? I got a salty thing to tell you people. The way the show ends is how the books end. I know that.
Whoa.
And that's the thing.
Hot take.
So you're like, oh, but he's got to finish them. I bet he had them closer to done than you would think. And then everybody hated the movie or the shows. And they're like, oh, let's wait for the books. And it's like, who do you think told them how the story ends? They didn't just make it up. He said he told them how it ends. So guess what? Cody, here we are. I'm about to spoil Game of Thrones for you. Nobody wins. Who wins? The kid that gets pushed out a window in the first episode. That's who wins because he's like, they're like, who should be king? Now we have to elect a king, which everybody's like, that's not how it worked. How dare you? Mm-hmm. That's how it worked all the time back in the day. Because guess what? When you overthrow the king, then everybody stands around and says, all right, now who's the king now? And then guess what they do? They elect him. Do the ladies get to elect him? No. Women aren't real people, Cody. That's what you said to me last weekend, all right? And I agree with it, okay? Mm-hmm. So these guys, but here's what happens, Cody. They're all sitting around. They're like, who should be king? And then Bran, who was gone for 17 seasons or whatever, is like, isn't it Tom? It should be me. And they're like, you're right. It should be him. And then one group, the Unsullied, are like, hold the F up. You guys suck. This isn't how this should have gone down. And then like, what if we send you back to where your leader's girlfriend's from? And then they're like, cool, we'll go there. We'll head out. And then it's like, oh, okay. That's how the show ends, Cody.
It's a pretty good show.
And then I was like, oh, this new one's doing pretty awesome. It's not doing it. And then they started just killing people. You know, and then they're like, oh, and then you know how they always do the post thing, the post episode like interview thing where they're like, oh, this is why we done last with the creator or like the showrunners. So they did, okay, a guy's dying, so he doesn't know who he's talking to. He thinks he's talking to one person, he's talking to a different person. And he's like, you have to just reveal the truth. Or so, I don't remember exactly what he says, but he says something that's real vague. And he's talking to one character, thinks he's talking to another character. But that character's like, I understand exactly what you mean. I have to murder everyone. I assume that's what she's doing. I don't know. I stopped watching the show because I was so upset at that point. Like, I'm like, this is so stupid that you had an entire episode of this dude at like fully aware setting up how everything's going to be after he dies. And then he says like one like mumbled phrase as he dies, and she's like, cool, so light all that on fire, right? And I'm just like, I hate this show, I hate this universe, it's so dumb. And then in the post episode thing, he's like, so it's really kind of a tragic ending. And I'm like, no, you don't get to decide whether or not your ending is great and like this great tragic ending. Because it's not. Anyway, last holiday, that's what we watched.
So Queen Latifah's in this one. Yeah. And let me tell you, it was all right. You know, I thought it was fine. It was what it was, you know? Look, this is a wife pick. It's a wife pick. It's a holiday pick. It's the last holiday. You know what? It's on the top 100 movies, Christmas movies on the user-generated IMDb list. It's rounding out the bottom. 100% it is. But you know what? It's there. Tyler, tell me, what's your hot take on Last Holiday?
I mean, I thought it was fine. I think it's in that same group that we talked about the other day when I said I think this is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually would 100% agree with that. Is there anything else we need to say to tee this one up? I mean, obviously, we're going to circle back to more Game of Thrones talk later, since that's what the people are here for. But as far as the Last Holiday goes,
nah, I mean, I think we got it. I think it's just Cody, just hop on my skis, just straddle these skis, get on the back, right? Let's whiz on down to Spoiler Town, USA. All right, let's get on down there.
Tyler, let's talk about it. I mean, do you want to gift me with a rant first, or do you want me to gift you with the rant? It's the holidays. I'm in the giving mood. You know, I'll give you the gift of this decision.
You know what? I'll go first, Cody. I'll do it. You know, I gotta.
That's great.
Do I need to pull up the timer app? As always, absolutely. Did it come up on the wrong screen? Yes, but I'm here and I'm about to tell you about it. All right, are you ready? Because I'm ready.
Oh yeah,
here we go. Cody, this movie, I would say, okay, so this is one of those. This is one of those movies, right, where I thought it. I was like, oh, I remember what this is. This is such a. This is okay. No, here it is. I got it. This is a Madea movie without Madea. That's what it is. This is a movie that's like, you expect Madea to come busting through the wall like Kool-Aid Man and start stirring stuff up. But there's no Madea, which makes me think this is why Tyler Perry's out here doing the Lord's work. All right. He's out here making these movies fun. All right. Because the movie's not bad. I don't think there's nothing that really makes it bad. The actors are all pretty. The actors all do a good job. They're all like fairly well known for the most part. A lot of the actors are fairly well known. They're good. They do it. They play their characters. They nail their lines. It is a film that is a film. I feel like it's probably, I'm going to go out on a limb. I have not read any of this stuff. Cody, look at me. I'm going to tell you, I think this movie is probably set in the same hotel that Casino Royale is set in. All right. That the set that they use is the same hotel. I don't think they're actually set in the same hotel. But I think the building that was used to shoot was the same building. Now, you read all the stuff, so you know, but I don't know. I'm just saying, where is Madea? That's what I want to know. I just want them to remake this Medea's Last Holiday. You know what I'm saying? Cody, and speaking of Madea, right? Like, I don't want to bring how dare Bailey come at this with not picking a Madea Christmas, okay? I feel cheated. I feel lied to. I feel I've been Smeckledorfed. All right, that's what, and I'm upset about it. Okay, but I feel this, Cody. I feel the whole like, because I'm going through. I'm out here. I go to work. I come home. I pay my bills, and I'm like, one day we'll do all this fun stuff, And then it's like, when's that day, Cody? One of these days, boom, dead. Anvil falls from the sky. See. There's planes going over. They're carrying these anvils, and sometimes they just drop one randomly. So you never know when it's coming for you. But one day, boom, you're flattened by an anvil. And then what did you do? You went to work every day. You're a coward. All right, you gotta get out there. You gotta commit tax fraud. All right, you gotta overturn a third world dictatorship. All right, you gotta live your life to the fullest. Okay, that's what Queen Latifah's trying to tell us. All right. She's out here meeting French chefs, eating their food. How dare you? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this French chefs. Who is going to go to these? If you are someone that goes to a place, a restaurant, a hotel, whatever, with a world-renowned chef, like if you go to Gordon Ramsay's kitchen, like hotel, not hotel. What does he own? A restaurant. That's what he owns. A restaurant. And if you go to his restaurant and you say, can I have this with soy milk? I think he deserves to come out there. Like, you deserve to get smacked by Gordon Ramsay, right? He's going to get on a plane from the different country that he's probably in, because he's never probably cooked in most of his kitchens, right? He's going to come to that restaurant and he's going to smack you in the face, all right? How dare you come in and sully his place, all right? And you know what, Cody? I wanted to smack these people. They're out here. It's like the Santa Claus, all right? When they're all in this meeting and they're like, I'll have a salad with no dressing and only half lettuce. Do you have the diet lettuce? No croutons. I'm watching my weight this week. I'm going to, no onions, no tomatoes. That's too much sugar, all right? These coastal elites out here just being a bunch of douchebags, all right? That's what I'm saying, But she's like, let's just eat everything. And I feel, do it. Get it, all right? Why? Portion size of these restaurants are like a bean, Might as well order it all, Say, like, who cares? Live your life, YOLO. That's the story. That's what this is, Cody. This is YOLO, all right? Back in 1950, they said, what would be a good catchphrase? YOLO. But the world wasn't ready, all right? The world was not ready, all right? And then they came back. Then Queen Latifah's like, the world's ready. And then a lot of people died. And then YOLO went away, but it's still alive in our hearts. All right. Now what do we got? Now we got TikTok, because Vine, again, the world wasn't ready. But now we've got the worst version of it, Cody. What's the worst version of YOLO? I don't know. Cody, I don't know, and I'm scared to find out. It's Cody, they're out here. It was a CAT scan, all right? It was a CAT scan. That's what did he sneeze on the machine? Why was it, what, Cody, why?
Tyler, I'm gonna cut you off right there. You got a lot going there, and I'm real proud of you because I got a lot to say about what you had a lot to say about. I'm gonna start right now. Here's the thing, Gordon Ramsay Hotel. Let's do it. Let's go all in. It is a hotel where all the workers dress like Gordon Ramsay and they berate you. All right. You go up to the front desk and they call you an idiot sandwich and they ask for your reservation number. And if you don't have it, he yells at you. I mean, would you not stay there? Everyone there dressed like Gordon Ramsay, the men, the women, everyone at the hotel has the Gordon Ramsay, the blonde, the little blonde, the British blonde hair all fluffed up, you know? I mean, come on. You're telling me you wouldn't stay at that hotel? It's like JD Bevick's, whatever, that the restaurant where they yell at you, where they're mean to you. It's like that, but it's a hotel. I mean, come on. Wouldn't you stay there? I would stay there. I'm staying there in my heart and my mind right now. Okay. Number 2, obviously you read the trivia, but yes, absolutely. It's the same hotel as Casino Royale. Come on. It is. And I'm mad that you got to it before me. It's the same hotel from Casino Royale. Isn't that amazing? It looks so much worse in this movie, though. Like, it goes to show how important the job of a cinematographer is the difference of having, is it Roger Deakins they had? I think they had Deakins. Of having a great cinematographer versus like, hey, throw some lights so we can see and shoot. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Here's the thing. Queen Latifah, she just wants to be a good person. She showed up to the church choir and then the preacher just roasts her during practice. And like, why? He's like, you're singing a little bit too quiet. And he just lays into her for like a whole minute. Poor Queen Latifah. Here's the thing. Is she poor? Yes. Is she pinching pennies? Yes. Is she also making chef meals for the boy that lives next door, but also still buying lean cuisine for herself? What is this model? What is her budget? I don't understand how she can afford to be making all this food she doesn't eat, but then also buying lean cuisine, which is not like a good deal. You know what I'm saying? You're buying lean cuisines. It's not saving you money, especially if you're already buying. It only saves you money if you eat the food you cook. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's talk about this scrapbook. Look, we've all done things we're ashamed of. We've all looked back and been like, you know what? That was the wrong move. Maybe I made that person feel uncomfortable. And I've been there. But you know what? You're talking about dating or whatever. You know what I've never done? I've never made a fake scrapbook and cut out someone's face and put it on. I've never done that. And even if you have done that, it's fine. You were 12 years old. We understand. What you weren't was a 36-year-old woman doing it. You know what I'm saying? Queen Latifah, well, you're out here making a vision board scrapbook, cutting out face. It's so creepy. It's a little much. I was on board for Queen Latifah's character until that book came out. And that threw it back a little bit for me. It made me ask some questions, but it's fine. I mean, let's talk about LL Cool J. He's got a nose for Queen Latifah. He's like, oh, that smell. You know what I'm saying? I had to come here. You got that smell, girl. And I wasn't ready for that either. But also, I'm on board with LL Cool J. Here's the thing. There are a lot of movies that show up that are like, hey, this person was a rapper, and so was this other person. It's like, so we'll throw them in here. I've never seen a movie where both the leads were rappers turned actors, and I'm all for it. Queen Latifah, LL Cool J, both with successful music careers, now acting in what is not but should be a Tyler Perry movie. How is this not a Tyler Perry movie? You touched on, I'm baffled. In every which way, it looks like it was a Tyler Perry movie, but it wasn't. And it makes I'm still upset about it. Okay. That's where I'm at. Okay. Queen Latifah, she bumps her head. All right. That's what prompts the CAT scan. She bumps her head on a cabinet. And then LL Cool J is just carrying her like floppy corpse throughout the department store. And I really thought he killed her. I was like, this movie got dark quick. It was like, oh, look, it's a fun little rom-com. No, he killed her. He's trying to stash the body. All right. That's what it looked like. Not only that, LL Cool J carries a body later in the movie as well. All right. LL Cool J, he's a strong man. Okay. He is carrying full weight of grown adults left and right. And I don't know how he worked that into his contract, but how did he not become an action star after this? I mean, it did. I mean, come on. He did it twice in one movie. He also hiked up an entire mountain. So who is this man? You know what I'm saying? He does not just work at he doesn't just work at a store. What's he juicing with? You know what I'm saying? What roids does he have? He's out here. There are performance enhancing substances in his locker at work. Am I crazy?
I mean, I'm going to have to cut you off, Cody. Yeah.
Tell me how he got so strong.
He's
got superhuman smell, superhuman strength. He has gentle eyes. You know, how does he have it all?
That's just him, you know. That's him doing his thing, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
What more do you need? Yeah.
Someone in this movie, okay, it's the lady. It's the mistress businesswoman, okay?
Right.
She's with the guy, the evil businessman, who's the mogul. He's like, oh, my blood pressure's too high. I got to do something to calm it down. You know, he's trying to make a move on his mistress lady. And she tells him to take a cold wash. And I need to know the origin of this line. Did she ad-lib it? Was the line take a cold shower, but then she said wash, but then they kept it? She says take a cold wash. And I know that because I asked Bailey to confirm what she said. And she was like, take a cold wash. Did you hear that? Did you catch it? Am I crazy?
Yes.
Take a cold wash, sir. All right, you're getting too excited. Go wash yourself cold.
Yeah.
Let's talk about my other favorite character. And by that, I mean my least favorite character. He is a man who is a base jumping instructor.
Yeah.
And is he from Prague? Yes. And are his lips chapped? Also, yes. And does he have adult braces? Absolutely. Let me tell you, I have never heard a worse instructor for something so deadly. You know, they're jumping off of a dam, which is curved. And he literally just like, don't jump wrong or you will die. I was like, hold on, but what's the right way to jump? I just heard you say, don't jump wrong. I can't. I couldn't do it. Oh, man. You know what I'm saying? He never explained the right way to jump.
Yeah.
Like, don't jump wrong. 3, 2.
I feel like he brought up several times that people have died.
Don't jump wrong.
It's like,
yeah, he did. Nope. He's like, that's how people die. Like, hold on, stop. But how do I live? Oh, I love him. He's great. He's awesome. I also hated him. Let's talk about snowboarding. You ever snowboarded, Tyler?
No, 1 second in my entire life.
Look,
here's what I know about
California.
Snowboarding. You go down the snow on a board, and if you're doing it right, you're gonna kill an entire case of Natty Light, crash into several trees, and then wonder why you're covered in bruises the next day. All right, that's my as a third party observer, what I know about snowboarding.
I only went one time. And let me tell you, she got going, and this movie's highly inaccurate for one reason only. On a hill of that slope, as a beginning snowboarder, you start going a little bit, and it gets out of control way faster. You go about, I would say, at least 3, if not 5 times faster than she was going. Snowboarding's hard, all right? I was real bad at it, and yeah, that's all I got to say. She made it. She did it. She wrestled someone. She rode on his skis. She went through the whole thing. She did it, you know?
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. Watch out for snowboarding, I guess, is really my point.
Have you seen the video? I'll tell you about my favorite video online, right? It's there's a whole bunch of them, right? But it's like a dude, and he'll be telling you something about snowboarding, right? He's standing there. He's being filmed by another guy. And then in between the cameraman and the host of some, I don't know, something, a man will come, a blur will appear and fly between them. And all you will hear is screaming, It's too fast. And then another blur will come. It's just screaming, Carl. And it's my favorite.
Oh, I saw that one.
I can watch it.
That's a good one.
I've watched it on loop for like an hour before. It's too fast, Carl. It's just what I didn't know is that you can find these two men on their exploits in several. So I don't know. Here's what I want to know: is it several times, like along one run, where these people died at the end, or is this something they do and they just have appeared in these videos online by bombing other people's videos? Because if it's the second one, they're heroes, and they need all of the grants. Give them the national like endowment for the arts or something. You know what I'm saying? Because they're killing it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I do want to talk about the villain of the movie, portrayed by Timothy Hutton. What's his name? It's the character's name is Matthew Cragen. Yep. He's got a book about how to be a winner, and he bought department stores. He's trying to do his merger. Can we look? I know it was 2006 when this movie came out, which was like a weird time for fashion, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the wardrobe department did him beyond dirty. Like his clothes were so much worse than everyone else in this movie. They really made an uphill battle. Not only his clothes, not only the wardrobe, but also his hair. And then all of a sudden in the last scene, his hair was like normal. I was like, well, I mean, if this was the guy we were going to be talking to, I would have been on his side the whole time. It was some rough ones. It was like bad suit, awful shirt, bad tie, terrible hair. You look bad, sir. You're looking rough. You don't look like a rich dude. You look like, when like the 14-year-old who's like, I'm really killing it at this dance, you know?
Yeah.
That was his look the whole time.
Let me tell you something, Cody. I need you to wash your mouth out with soap for daring to besmirch the name of this wardrobe department, because I will have you know, Cody.
No.
There is nothing they could have done to save this man. Timothy Hutton is that way. I'm convinced that he comes into every single role that he plays where he's like, and the wardrobe is like, cool. And, we're going to fix what you're wearing, and we're going to get you some good clothes. And the hairstylist, they're going to come over and we're going to fix your hair. And he says, no, I am what I am. And the ladies love it because he's always cast in these roles where it's like, the hot guy, like the guys from Supernatural that periodically get cast in stuff not Supernatural as the hot guy because they're two hot guys. He's convinced he's hotter than them. I know this, right? Because he's always cast as like, oh yeah, I'm the suave, smooth talking dude that gets laid all the time. And it's like, you look like you said, like a 14-year-old who just woke up and said, killing it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
You've definitely got a poster of Charlie Sheen up in your bedroom. That's what I'm saying. All right. And you're like, I'm winning. All right. And you know what? Enough coke, and you can definitely think that you're killing it, but you're not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's in a show called Leverage that Tiffany likes. So I've seen this man, and you can ask her pretty much every episode. I'm like, dude, comb your hair, cut it, do something, wear a bag over your head, literally do anything.
Yeah.
Just don't look me in the eye and tell me that you're a hot man when you're not.
Oh. Well, I will tell you this: he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. So
in what?
There's that. All right, the Robert Redford directed film "Ordinary People" in 1980. So this would have been him as like a young man, playing like a teenager, probably. So
I think he was probably good looking when he was a teenager, and he's like, I can keep this going.
I don't know if life's been kind to him. I don't know if all the cocaine has been kind to him. Put it that way.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm on Ordinary People. Yeah, his hair. He's like, his hair is, his face hasn't changed, except it's kind of sagged off of his skull a little bit, and his hair is just 2 inches longer, but it's not. He hasn't done it. It's the exact same. It's just slightly longer.
Oh man,
that's it.
Well, we're here.
Let's just talk more about how
So-
much he sucks and how I wish he wasn't in stuff.
It's funny that he's in a show that Tiffany likes, because I was scrolling through his IMDb trying to find something. I was like, surely I've seen this man before, and I'm trying to like recognize something he's in, and I can find nothing. So
You ever seen the show
Well-
Leverage?
no. Man, no. May I suggest to you Leverage? No.
It's
No.
let me tell you about Leverage, Cody.
Oh, here we go.
Leverage is a show about people that they try to get leverage. That's how he says it. He's like, one word, leverage. And then he does like a CSI-esque opening.
Oh,
CSI Miami, to be clear.
Yeah.
It's a very different vibe. It's so imagine all those crime shows and stuff. It's like, imagine if Ocean's 11 was made by a bunch of like film students
Nice.
with like European actors doing American accents. That's what the show is. And it's fun. You know, I mean, it's a fun
Yeah.
time sometimes, but it's not a good show.
Oh, this is kind of a deep cut. Like 12 years ago, SNL did this sketch, and it was like a Norwegian theater acting troupe that were doing like a showcase thing. And it's like they perfected their New York accents for this scene. And it's supposed to be like a Fred Armisen playing a Norwegian man doing a perfect New York cop accent, except they're all awful. That's what it makes me think of.
No, Cody, no, I got it. No. Here we go. Here's where it's going to get you. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to get you. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Hawkman in Black Adam?
Yeah.
A beautiful man. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
He was in Leverage.
No.
He's the tech whiz.
Was he the leverager?
No.
Oh.
And let me give you another detail. Timothy Hutton, the one that we've talked about not liking, it's in there.
Mhm.
His character that these criminal masterminds recruit to, because they're like, we need a mastermind. We need someone that can plan these heists, that can direct our skills, because they're the best of every like corner of the white collar criminal, right?
Nice.
You want to hazard a guess of what this man's profession was? What skill set was he bringing? You're right. He was an insurance agent, an insurance investigator. All right. So he investigated also their main villain, the guy that kept coming back, you know, their Lex Luthor, Will Wheaton. You nailed it, Cody. Otherwise known as Siphon or whatever. I don't remember.
He's in that one thing.
I watched a lot of this show. It's fun, but it's bad. Just know it's bad. And
yeah,
it's all I could see. You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, looping back.
All right, try.
I'm running out of notes about the plot of this movie, but she goes for it. And I'll say this. I had a few genuine laughs during this movie. Yeah. I giggled a few times. And I do have a beef. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
The payout, if you bet money in roulette,
right,
and you bet on a single number,
yes,
and you hit that number 4 times in a row,
right,
and you know they're like a high roller place. So I mean, she would have been like a millionaire, right?
Yeah, she got 4 million
crowns,
crumbles.
They were like 3.4 million crowns. I was like, she did it. She's a millionaire. And they're like, that's $100,000. I'm like,
35 to 1.
I thought you were a group of people that would not be impressed by $100,000. Anywho, I was very upset. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy.
What's the payout?
It is 35
What's
to 1.
What's a roulette payout for?
35. So if you bet $1,
35 to 1,
you win, you get $35. So they're a high roller place.
Math. So you got, let's say you're $1,000, then you go $35,000. And then that times 35, then that times 35. You're looking at like $42 million, right?
Yeah.
She bet 1,000.
So she bet 100 crumbles and made 4.2 million crumbles, which is $100,000. And I'm like, why are you in this country where the currency seems to be worth less than toilet paper? And this is supposed to be like this fantastic retreat location.
I got questions. Anyway, so that bugged me. I mean, she went 4 for 4, or was it 3 for 3? It was a lot. Right?
Yeah, it's 3 or 4. One of those two. Whatever.
Yeah. So there's that. I mean, yeah. So that, but it's fine. It's fun. It's one of those things where it's like, look, she's a woman of the people. She's going to talk back to the richies, She's going to be nice to people. She's going to get hers. She did all of it. She made friends with a famous chef played by, what's his name? Gerard Depardieu. Is that his name?
It sounds right.
And it's kind of funny. When he first popped up, I was like, this is an upsetting caricature of a French chef. And by the end, I was like, this is a delightful performance.
Oh, he's the best. In fact, I saw
he really won me over.
I saw
when he was like dipping his finger and stuff and sucking on his finger. I was like, I don't like this very much. And then by the end, he won me over.
Yeah, I saw it like just when I Googled him, and I saw an article, didn't read it, just saw the title. It says he's the best and worst of France. I was like, well, I don't know what that means, but all right.
Yeah, no, that checks out.
Does he not to you also look like a thicker version of what's his face? You know who I'm talking about, because you're right, he does look like that. Don't make me look him up. Don't make me. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Haley said it too earlier. She mentioned who it was, and I was like, oh yeah, and I forgot it.
You're gonna make me find who it is because I can't remember a darn name. I'm upset with you. All right, that's what Christoph Waltz. He's a thick Christoph Waltz.
Oh yeah, he's French Christoph. There you go. No, that's good. I will say, look, at the end of the movie, they have their little speech. She talks the guy down from the ledge. LL Cool J arrives from his hike up the mountain, and he gives her the speech, and they do the kiss. And it's like, we knew it was going to end this way, but it's still nice. It's still a nice moment. And so then they close up, and then they're like, all right, now it's end montage time. And they do like this person went on to do this, and this person, and it was weird. So cheesy. It was so weird. I was like, you won me over a little with the ending, and then you kind of threw it all away at the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
Because it's one of those things where you're like, oh, well, when it's a biopic, it's nice to be like, oh, what did the real people? But it's like, these are all invented characters, and it was more of like the cut and paste fake photographs too. I was like, you had it. You had it with the little restaurant. Emerald shows up, and it's like, bam, he's there, which is nice. And then, I'm just saying, cut the end montage,
Yeah, it was fun, but also, it was weird. You're right. But it was 2006. It was a different time. All right.
Oh,
here's the thing, Cody. Before we get to
let's
that,
do this.
Before we get to that part, right? He comes out and he's like, got her, nailed it, right? She's been out here telling us that she's some rich, famous person. They all love her. I'm gonna prove that she's nothing. And gives the speech, and I'm like, dude, you got to read the room, because one, she has not told you guys what she does at all. It never indicated that she's wealthy, other than like having fun at a rich resort, which anybody can do.
Uh-huh.
Anybody can go and drop 10 grand on a vacation and seem rich.
Yeah.
You don't have to be. It's the rich people who do it all the time.
Yeah.
So you're just going like, they have I feel like at this point, this man should have been, like, I just want all you rich guys out there, just know your friends hate you. And if you go up against Queen Latifah, they're going to pick Queen Latifah every time.
I would say that's the main moral of the picture is don't go up against Queen Latifah.
Yeah. This is Queen Latifah at peak Queen Latifah, right? That when she was getting like 7 movies a year, right? Mm-hmm. And she was
she was Latifahing hard at this point. Well, just for a little context, in case you're curious, like what other movies were big around this time, the Academy Awards, some movies that won were The Departed, Letters from Iwo Jima, Little Miss Sunshine, Half Nelson, Pursuit of Happiness, Blood Diamonds, Dreamgirls. So that was the era of movies. Pan's Labyrinth, and this one, Cars, of course. Happy Feet. Remember Happy Feet? So anyway, there we are. If you want a few fun facts, I had no idea. But I mentioned it. This movie was a remake of a 1950 film with Alec Guinness, who many may know and love as Obi-Wan Kenobi, the original. So they were like, oh, let's remake the movie. And they're like, this is great. John Candy will play the main character. Then John Candy died, and they're like, shelve it. Don't even sweat it. And then, like, however many years later, they found the script again. They're like, oh, it's got to be Queen Latifah. We'll rewrite it for a female lead, and we're good to go. So I had no clue this was a remake of a film, but it was, and it had Alec Guinness in it. So remember him?
Oh, I remember him. Okay, here's what you don't understand. Here's what I appreciate about this film. All right. Fun fact, this is the only film in the last 30 years where Giancarlo Esposito has been not played a like a Hispanic character, despite not being Hispanic.
Yeah.
That's not true, but I don't know if you are aware of the fact that they really were like, yeah, no, you're definitely not white. Much like Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
And always have him play a Spanish speaking character. And he's like, I got the Spanish accent nailed. And then you hear people who speak Spanish are like, he doesn't. He doesn't have it as nailed.
I'm like 98% sure he's Portuguese. Like that's his heritage is Portuguese. So it's like, I think he's Brazilian or his family's Brazilian. So it is kind of funny that he's, I think in Breaking Bad, is that part of his, maybe that's just his character in Breaking Bad. I think he's supposed to be, I don't know if he's Spanish or like Portuguese, but so he like doesn't fit in with the Mexican cartel that he's a part of. But I haven't seen Breaking Bad in a minute.
No one has. No one actually saw Breaking Bad, right?
Oh, well, I mean, he's Danish and his dad is Italian.
Yeah.
And his mom is African American. So
you're right.
I must just be thinking of the Breaking Bad plot line.
That's exact. So, Cody, I just want you to know you're in good company. You're in company with every single Hollywood executive.
Cool.
Ever.
As long as I fit in with the other racists, that's where I want to be.
Yeah. Like Giancarlo Esposito, Vin Diesel, same. Both not white. Right?
Mm-hmm. Well, some more fun facts. So Queen Latifah makes a duck hash thingy. She puts on some little croutons, for her demo. LL Cool J doesn't eat duck. So they had like Food Network people come and do a lot of the cooking and like teach Queen Latifah some things.
He doesn't eat duck.
That's part of the reason.
You said?
Well, I think that's why they got to use Emerald and stuff. Anyway, so they had to like swap out the duck for him to eat his little bite of that. Isn't that fun?
No, but no, Cody, you said that like no. I mean, there's
Cool J doesn't.
No, I don't. You'd be
duck.
like, I don't eat literally anything else, and there's a reason for it. So if I came into a place, I'm like, I don't eat duck. That means I have a personal beef with duck. There's no.
Yeah. Well, LL Cool J has rapped extensively about his beef with ducks. I think maybe his brother was killed at a petting zoo or something. I don't know. There's some history there, obviously.
So, but wouldn't that make you want to eat the ducks?
Just to really give it to him, just to really show it. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not one to tell LL Cool J how to take his vengeance,
Doesn't eat duck. A dangerously insane human being. I don't eat duck either, but that's more just because I don't order duck. Do you eat duck, Cody?
I do. Look, it's a stretch to say I do eat duck. I would say I have eaten duck and I'm not opposed to eating duck, but it's also like, I don't eat duck in that like no one's out here offering me duck.
But you don't eat it.
You know what I'm saying?
Cody, I want you.
But I do eat it. Like I do. Like
No.
I would.
I want you at your next business meeting introduce yourself as Cody, and then be like, I don't eat seal. Just so you guys know, just to get this out of the way ahead of time.
About me, I don't eat seal.
I don't eat panda. You know, it's a religious thing. Don't eat panda. Like, just drop that on people. That's what I'm saying. What you're dropping on me?
I'm on a rodent-free diet. I just want everyone to be aware of that. I don't eat rodents. Yeah. That's a little odd, a little out there. I don't know why, but we're here. Here's the other thing. This will give you some context to this movie, and maybe it'll help you understand where it's coming from. So, the writers of this movie, first off, it's a writing team. Okay, so writing team who made this movie they only made a handful of pictures, but they're very well known. So, they also wrote the movie Wild Wild West. They also wrote the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and they also wrote the movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and like one other movie. So really kind of a bizarre resume. But there you go. Roger Rabbit, Wild Wild West, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and Last Holiday, and Shrek the Third. So there you go. That's their... So I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't know how to judge them based on that resume. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I would say those movies all fall within a similar,
range.
Yeah,
range of quality.
I mean, I would say How the Grinch Stole Christmas is probably the best of that group.
Although Roger Rabbit's not bad. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
it's not good.
I don't know. Well, but it's not.
People think it's good because it was like, oh man. But look, Wild Wild West, you're trying to tell me that Will Smith gave up the role of Neo for a bad movie? Next, you're going to get out here spitting insane things, all right? You're probably going to say something like, oh, Matt Damon gave up a percentage.
Kevin Kline's acting career for 10 years.
Who?
Kevin Kline. Exactly. You got it.
Just chalk that up with insane statements like Matt Damon giving up a percentage of Avatar ticket sales.
Not a percentage, 10%.
10%.
It's so upsetting. Oh man. Yeah. So there you go. Oh man, Giancarlo. I literally wanted to like, where's the Ito go? Giancarlito? That can't be right. That was me at the beginning of this podcast trying to figure out Giancarlo Esposito.
Well, you look at his name too, and it's like, I'm always like, I don't know how to pronounce his name. And then I look at his name and I'm like, that's not what I was expecting every single time. When I look at it and I'm like, if I didn't know how to pronounce his name, I would look at it and be like, all right, this is definitely one of those ones where it's like, how do you pronounce this? Oh, it's pronounced Kevin. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't know a lot of people that are half Italian and half black. So it's just, he's just an amazing enigma of a man.
Yeah.
And he's so good at his villains,
He gets way too into him. That's what's scary about it.
I need a movie written for him as an Italian black man. That's what I need,
No, because he's definitely
I'm trying
not.
To think of like a movie I've ever seen where there was an Italian black man,
Yeah. But Cody, Hollywood has decided he's Hispanic, right?
He is a Latino man.
Yes.
Yeah. That's fair. Oh, wow. LL Cool J is in this movie. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
In it.
I gotta tell you, Cody, so he came in and it was said, LL Cool J's in the movie, and I was like, cool. And I know the name LL Cool J. And then I was like, oh, it's him. He is LL Cool J. And I tell you, Cody, I did not link them as the same person. And it really shattered my universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really just threw a wrench in all my plans.
Been all over the place. Here's the thing about this movie. I think the directing let it down more than the writing. And I think a few of the actors do a pretty good job of what they're going for, but just like the camera work isn't there and the lighting isn't there. and the editing is a little wonky. And I think you can blame the director for that. You know, I think that's fair to say that like those three things not linking up to make this like a slightly better movie. Because I feel like this script, I mean, it's a reboot, so it has to be a decent like story to begin with. But well, I think there's a better movie within this movie. You know?
Oh yeah, no, I think this is a classic case of like you said, this movie was because even Timothy Hutton, who I don't
it's
like,
a good cast. Too.
Yeah, like even
look at the cast; it's a pretty good cast.
Yeah, they're all perfect for their roles. They all did a great job. I think. Yeah, you're right. It's like they did as good as they could do.
You shot it better. You edited it better. This movie could be a lot better than where it's at.
Yeah. It's Queen Latifah, Cody. The Equalizer, all right?
It's the Equalizer. Oh man. Queen Latifah, it's just crazy to me because like Queen Latifah to me is an actress, which is wrong. Like she's a very accomplished musician, and I just know nothing about her catalog except that she was in the Chicago movie soundtrack, you know?
Yeah. But at this point, hasn't she done the movies longer than the music?
Yeah, but that's usually the case when you're her age and she's been working consistently. But, you know, she's still, at the end of the day, 30 Rock, they're trying to find a celebrity to die because it's the rules of three. You know, it's like two celebrities have died and like, who's the third one going to be? I don't want it to be me. Finds Jimmy Fallon and he's like, are you famous? And he's like, well, I was, you know, I've got my own TV show because he's on late night with Jimmy Fallon at the time, Tonight Show or whatever. He's like, no, are you famous? He's like, I was in a Queen Latifah movie because they were Taxi together. Remember Taxi? I mean, Queen Latifah survived some flops, you know?
Yeah.
And here she is sitting at the top of the mountain as the Equalizer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even this movie, did you happen to take a look at the budget box office data?
No, I don't. I mean, the budget's got to be like...
Careful now.
It's hard because like the production value isn't there, except they did shoot it at a very expensive hotel. And there are like action sequences. I mean, 20 million.
I will say, just to give you a second chance here.
Is it 20 million?
I feel like this is I would put this kind of in the realm of like a standard, you know, like this wasn't like a small indie movie, but it's not like the biggest movie of the year, but it's a standard like, no, we expect this movie to make us millions of dollars.
So what are we talking? 35?
45.
45 million. I mean,
45 million.
For a $45 million movie, it doesn't look great.
No. I mean, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think all the pieces were there. Like I said, I think it's just the only thing that could make that many pieces fall apart with these kinds of people and like this location is, the director had to do not a very good job.
Yeah.
Like, the director just made the movie, you know, like it just was like, looked at the old movie and said, we'll just make that again versus, you know, there's no Quentin Tarantino out here, you know, not going to tell Jamie Foxx to act like a slave and then slap him and tell him to get out there, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think he did the second thing, but, you know.
Nah, he did. He did, but no one's going to talk about it. So the other thing is the director is kind of a weird resume as well. His top 4 movies are Smoke, Chen is Missing, Made in Manhattan, and Life is Cheap.
What?
But toilet paper is expensive. So, he also has like a weird resume of like, oh, he's done 1 or 2 like decently successful rom-coms, but also like just a lot of nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And when all your top 4 movies, the average IMDb score is like 6.0, you know, it's like, oh, okay, not, you know, he's there, he's doing it, but I don't know. It's just kind of a weird, I don't know. It just looked weird. It could have been more.
But do you want to hazard a guess on what the movie made, though?
Oh, did it make like
it's Queen Latifah, Cody?
It's a known film, you know?
Yeah, Queen Latifah.
80 million.
How much?
80.
80?
80. Yeah.
43 million. Almost 43 and a half million dollars.
All right. Well, I tried. Let's talk about how it isn't a Christmas movie, even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
It is. It takes place in December, and that is it. She is on holiday in the sense that she's on a vacation. Like it's not a holiday movie. She literally, in the British sense, taking a holiday.
Yeah.
She's on holiday. She's on a vacation, as we would call it in the States. Look, I've been to New Orleans. I've rode the trolley.
Can you pronounce it correctly, please?
I've been to Nerlens, all right? I've been there. I've eaten the food. I called it. I was like, hold on a second. I think they're in New Orleans. And then later they were like, New Orleans. I was confused because she was like, I haven't been north of Mobile, Alabama. And I was like, oh, okay. So, but then he was like, the Charlotte Hornets game. Like, Charlotte is way further up north. So I was confused. I got very confused. I was trying to do the math in my head of like, well, if they're south of Mobile, Alabama, but they're also going to a Hornets game, because shouldn't it have been a Pelicans game?
I thought it was Pelicans. I thought it was Pelicans and
Hornets. I thought he said Charlotte. He said Charlotte Hornets. I didn't hear him say Pelicans. I thought he said the Charlotte Hornets game.
I thought like the tickets were like the Pelicans and the Hornets. So yeah,
I'm sure
you're not gonna.
If they're in New Orleans, it has to be the Pelicans.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I heard Charlotte Hornets and got very confused about the geography of this film.
Well, Cody, here's the thing: for a game in a sport game, there's two teams.
But like, hold on, that's like if you're in Kansas City and you're like, do you want to go to the Chargers game? It's like, well, no, it's a Chiefs game. If you're from Kansas City, you're going to be rooting for the Chiefs. You're going to the Chiefs Stadium. It's a Chiefs game, you know. So I was confused.
Yeah, but also, which
I need you to
Chiefs
rewind
game?
Back to the movie, and I need you to see the part where does he say Hornets? Because also you wouldn't say Charlotte Hornets Pelicans game, because you would just say whatever. It's fine. So my thing is, they never went to the game,
right? Because she died.
What's that about?
Cody.
The machine, they mentioned it was used, but the machine was broken. Here's the thing. I did appreciate this because the nice Indian man who is the doctor who gives the bad scan, he shows up as such like a frail and like sad and unconfident person. I was like, I feel bad. I feel bad for this casting because I like that actor. But then at the end of the day, he saves the day because he's like, hey, I figured it out. It's the machine's fault. And I was really happy that he got the W because he showed up to the other doctor, the second opinions office. And he's like, did you tell her? And he's like, buh. And I felt so bad for him. He was so meek and mild, and weak. He was a weak boy. Anyway, I'm just glad he came through with the W at the end. I was very proud of him. And I thought it was a good writing choice,
Yeah.
Made me feel better.
No, I get you. But I gotta tell you, I'm slipping. I'm flipping through these pictures.
Yeah,
and the DVD cover of this movie, is crazy.
Yep,
it is Queen Latifah in her red dress, looking, very Latifah-esque. LL Cool J standing off like a goober. Holding a rose, just like a nerd. All right, where I'm fairly certain that's not him. They just had a dude, and then they like put his head over the other person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
copy paste, right?
Much like the scrapbook.
Yeah,
the book of possibilities.
The chef looks like he's planning to kill Queen Latifah. The bad guy looks like they're best friends, and the business associate lady that's sleeping with the bad guy, first off, is like, looks like she's 6 feet behind them, but she's the same height as the bad guy and is obviously looking at the wrong mark. Mm-hmm. Like the wrong spot. They're all supposed to be looking at the same spot to make it look like they're looking at Queen Latifah, and she is not looking at that spot.
Oh, man.
There is a dog on the set, and she's looking at the dog. All right. You don't believe me, Cody, but let me tell you.
I mean, if you don't drop me a snip, I'm going to freak out on you.
Let me tell you what. I'm trying. All right. Oh goodness. I'm in the page source. All right. Are you happy now?
Mm-hmm.
This will probably get you to the same spot. So I'm just going to drop this here in the general chat. Just copy, paste, boom. There's a link to it. There you go. That'll get you there. That'll get you there.
Yeah.
Is it in a different language? You bet your sweet booty it is, Cody.
Litifa, l'ultima vacanza. I think that's the Italian one.
Yeah, it's Italian.
Oh, look at LL Cool J. What a goob. He
Goober.
does look murderous. Oh, man. And here's the real crime, though. Giancarlo Esposito is left off this DVD cover, and that makes me mad. So does the other guy who looks like he's wearing a face over his face. What's that guy's name? He was funny because he just popped up. I just watched The Watcher, and he's in there, and I thought the same thing. I was like, what kind of prosthetics is he wearing? Is this that guy who plays Doc Ock with prosthetics on? Michael Nouri. Nope, it's just his face. And then I was like, oh, he's younger now, so he's going to look less like he's wearing a face on his face. Nope, he still looks like he's wearing a face on his face. There you go.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, Tyler, do you want to hazard a guess at the Rotten Tomatoes of this one? The tomato meter and the audience score?
I'm going to guess like a 60%, whatever that is on. Is that?
It's 55 tomato meter, 67 audience score. So, you know, it did all right. I guess the last question is what do you rate it?
I'm going to go with a C. I'll give it a solid C. I think it was a good middle of the road movie that if someone threw it on, I wouldn't be happy, but I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh. But, you know.
Yeah, I think I'm going to drop a C- on it, you know, and it really just because I giggled a couple times and, you know, it's a nice little ending, a nice little message. And it's enough to redeem it for a C-, but, you know, it's not great.
Yeah. It could have been great, I think.
I mean, if it's the holidays and you're going to pick this over any of like the other top 10 Christmas movies, I'm not going to be very pleased about it.
Yeah. You know, you could be picking Die Hard or anything else.
Yep.
Tiffany, what would you give the movie? Tiffany gives it an A.
An A. Wow. High praise.
High praise. That's right.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe we'll get a real Christmas movie out before too long.
Oh, we will.
For now, this is what we got.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say.
I mean, that's all there is to say. You know, it's the last holiday, and that's the last thing to say.
I believe it's the ultima vacanza. So that's it. I want to say thanks to everyone for listening. You can share us, follow us wherever you find your podcasts. And we're online at Opinion Havers on social media. You can yell at us there. You can check out what we're posting or memes. And we want to hear what movies you want us to do. Until next time, watch movies.
And have opinions. Nothing.
I gotta go because I gotta buy some Lean Cuisines.
Okay now.
Lean Cuisines, gotta get them.